Welcome to Haunting Travels. I'm your host, Alex, and today we have a truly fascinating guest joining us. She's a certified hypnotherapist who's witnessing remarkable transformations in her clients. After 2 sessions, beyond her hypnotherapy practice, she balances life as a waitress and she runs her own cleaning business. What makes her story particularly intriguing is her belief in divine power and her profound impact she's having on people's lives. Let's dive into her incredible journey.
Hi.
So, what inspired you to become a certified hypnotherapist?
I wasn't necessarily looking into becoming a hypnotherapist when I came across the school. I was looking into hypnotherapy for myself because at that time in my life, I was lost and I had been lost for a very long time. I'm a recovering alcoholic and an addict. Um, and the inspiration comes from my own journey, my own recovery. And once I seen how profoundly powerful the mind is, and to learn more about it, I just became hooked. I just dove right in. The first 2 months of my school, you don't have to pay for it. It's like a trial, and you know what I mean. So either you like it or you don't, and there's no commitment to it. I dove right into it. I was totally into it, and um, I've been helping people for free my entire life, anyways. And this way, I can help people in a actually beneficial way without guessing if my advice is correct or not. And it's pretty fun.
You mentioned seeing visible changes after 2 sessions. What kind of transformations have you witnessed?
One client in particular, my second client, and he we started we did the first session, and the first session is always about the induction into hypnosis. It's about conditioning for the following sessions to change whatever the issues may be. And this person in particular, on the application, it said mommy issues, and it said procrastination, and it was very short, the description of why he was looking into hypnotherapy, but he had seen a previous intern from the same school like a few months before. Um, After the second session, I got a text in the middle of the night. He was saying, I feel disconnected. I don't feel like myself. I'm feeling random bursts of energy with no or origin and nowhere to go. It's I just don't feel like me. And in the beginning, I was like, oh my god, I almost had a panic attack because I was like, am I fucking up this guy's life? Like, oh my god, am I too powerful? Like, it just seemed totally effortless, you know. And I'd hate to say it like that, but to me, it just seems effortless to be able to do this. And I had to reassure him and myself, obviously. This is going to happen. Everyone reacts differently when we're going in and we're changing things you want to change. It affects everyone differently. I had one client that really didn't have a major change, my first client, and after 8 weeks with him, he didn't need me anymore. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to say goodbye. Like, I don't know how to end this. You're my first client. You're my first one that doesn't really need me anymore. And so I reassured my other client that it's completely normal to feel disconnected because we're changing some things. You want to change this, and so it is very, very effective. And I can confess that I don't know how sure I was of it when I first got into it, but it is very effective. And I like to teach my clients self hypnosis. And um, honestly, we every single person goes into hypnosis every single day. An example would be being engulfed in a movie or a song, getting goosebumps, laughing, crying. That's a state of hypnosis. Or disassociating while you're driving and you still make it safely to your destination. Um, and so we just utilize that state of mind to work on deeper things that you want to change. And that could be bad habits. It could be a fear of speaking publicly. It could be sports performance. It could be test anxiety. It could be very simple, or it can dive deeper into child trauma and past life regression. And it just really just depends on the person. And no one's going to pay for someone to help them in this way if they weren't, somewhat interested enough for that, if that makes sense. And the first session is all about explaining what it is, how it works, and debunking any myths that people may have about it.
What do you think would be the most dramatic change that you've seen in a client?
The most dramatic change would be my first client, and first client ever that I ever worked with. So it was practice for me as well as it was for him learning more about himself. In the beginning, he felt lost in life. He felt grief and shame of past failed relationships. He had moved out of the country and moved back to the country when a relationship didn't work out. He was living in a place that he was living in a garage at his cousin's, and it was a makeshift office and his room. He didn't have any direction. He didn't know what to do. He felt lost. And then by the eighth week, I mean, we didn't even have a hypnosis session that week. He just was like, I don't think I need this anymore. Like, is it okay if we just stop? And, if I want to come back later, I can. And I was like, I literally did not know what to say. I was floored. I was like, I can't believe, that we're just done. And he went from someone who had no direction in life to someone who was making active changes in his life. And he's happy and doing the things that he wants to do. And that was it for me. I knew that I wanted to go right and like dive right into this career and learn more. So very, very drastic change in him.
How do you explain the rapid results that you're achieving?
How I explain rapid results. Okay. The difference between a talk therapist and a hypnotherapist is when you leave a talk therapist, you sometimes don't feel better. You feel worse. And with hypnotherapy, not only are you in a relaxed state of mind, you're being taught how to do this when you have anxiety, when you're feeling depressed. We just change the known associations in your mind. For example, someone who goes to grab a cigarette um, after they eat or when they wake up, grab a bottle of water. We're just changing the little associations in our brains that just make us who we are and behave how we do. The drastic comes from bypassing your critical mind, which acts like a filter, whether you accept or reject new thoughts and ideas. We utilize the hypnotic state of mind and go in and we're making direct changes. And not only are you feeling better after every session, whatever's going on in your life, it could be holidays, it could be family stress, it could be marital issues. You feel better and it lasts. You're not jumping to what's causing you to seek the therapy in the first place. And honestly, I mean, that's the best description I can I can say about it. Otherwise, I really just don't know any other reason why it would be so drastic. It is mind blowing, though. Absolutely.
Would you be able to walk us through what you do when you do hypnotherapy?
Yes, absolutely. So I explained the first session a little already. Once we get to the second session and following sessions after that, there's an induction process, which is breathing, deep breathing, and thinking with intention why we're having this session, what you're wanting to work on. And an induction can be staring at a spot on the ceiling, it could be fingers spreading. It's just a way to get you connected, mind and body. And the conditioning comes in with my voice and with the words sleep or deep sleep, brings this person into hypnosis almost immediately. First 15, 25, 30 minutes, depending on how stressed they are or what's going on in their week, is about just talking, seeing where they're at, seeing what's working for them, what's not working for them, and then um, literally applying that in the session. Um, it involves imagery, it involves progressive relaxation, and the client themselves are making this happen. I'm really just a guide. Honestly, I'm just a guide to help direct others to change their life. And that's about it, really.
And what misconceptions do people have about hypnotherapy?
Oh, misconceptions. All right. People think that I can control them. I can make them bark like a dog or quack like a duck or reveal information or whatever. And that's not what it is at all. It's not what you see on TV or on a stage. That's entertainment. This is actual therapy that we're doing. Um, uh, People really do think that it's mind control, and it really isn't. Like I said, hypnosis is a state of mind, that dreamy state before you fall asleep, or like I said, daydreaming. And I can't control anything. You're in control 100%. And if you don't like something, you can easily come out of hypnosis, just like someone talking to you and you hear a specific word and you're like, huh? And then you're listening. It's very easy to go in and out of hypnosis. I can't make anyone do anything that they don't want to do. The bottom line is if you're not ready and you don't want to make changes, it's not going to happen. Just like a new thought or an idea, you easily can say no, and your mind is going to automatically do that because it's conditioned already. It's who we are. It's either a yes or a no, and it's just that's as simple as it is with the hypnosis.
You mentioned being a firm believer, sorry, and having divine power. When did you first realize this?
I first realized this at a point in my life where it was really dark. And this wasn't too long ago, maybe in the last few years. I had a roommate at the time, and I was drinking 1.5 liters of liquor every day, every other day. And I never really put the two together until things kind of just started being in repetition. Weird things that would happen. I remember just being in a really bad state of mind. And I didn't realize it at the time. I realized it probably a couple years later because at that point, so many things just didn't make sense. I'm like, how is this happening? Or what is going on? Like, this cannot be like everyone else's life. At that time, I was in a bad state of mind. I was drinking. I self-destructive, like totally out of control, unmanageable, unhinged. And I just remember thinking so ill while I was sitting in the passenger seat of my roommate's car. And I just remember a pebble coming and chipping the windshield right where my forehead would be. And obviously, if that windshield wasn't there, then, it would have hit me in the forehead and probably went in. And just little experiences like that, I've noticed. Any person that I've ever met or been involved in their life, whether that be an acquaintance or using drugs or whatever, Um, always, like, I've always just been like a vessel to them. I've helped them in some way without me even realizing it back then. Um, I just feel it. I feel more connected to myself now that I'm learning how to actually explore my mind and my body and the connection there. And I just feel like I'm a vessel, and this power radiates to anyone that's in within 6 feet of me.
Do you feel like you're a healer?
Absolutely. Whether that be with the hypnosis or sending a text message to a potential person that I want to date. They always want to stay around. Wow, you're just, thank you. Like, I just feel like you're the one, and I just hear it all the time. I'm just not just with that. Like, I just want you in my life, period. Not just with dating, just people just want me around, and I just never put it together. I do feel like a healer with my words and just my experience in life. I can relate to a lot of people, and it's a blessing and a curse, unfortunately.
I feel you on that one. Can you share specific situations where you felt this divine power at work?
Yeah, definitely. The car situation, I remember crying and it started raining. And when I stopped crying, it stopped raining. Not that I'm saying that I have power over the world. It's just, I don't know. That was the time where I just felt it. And I know it sounds totally crazy, but I just know that there's some kind of connection in with me and the earth, I guess. I mean, technically, we all are connected by electricity, and we're affected by the moon and just all of these things. I just feel like I have a little extra sometimes.
Yeah, we all got a little EMF in us.
Absolutely.
How does this belief influence your approach to hypnotherapy?
This belief, like I said, I was lost for a really long time. I didn't have any direction. I just was floating on through life at just bare minimum, making it for about 20 years of my life, and I'm 34 now, so obviously there's I wasted a lot of my life. That's how I feel. But I am a firm believer, and this the hypnotherapy works. I didn't even get hypnotized to make changes when I started the training for it, and things just started changing for me within the first couple months of me learning about this. And it's just, I wish I could just like make you and the viewers feel what I feel when I'm working with someone, because they may not realize it as the progression happens, but I keep a notebook with the cases and every week and what's going on and what's not going on and just whatever. And then by a couple months, I'm like, you this and this, and don't forget about this. All of these things have been changed for you. You just It's just like a never ending therapy of things to work on until really someone is just content, and there's nothing really that they want to do like work on. So yeah.
Do you think everyone has access to this kind of thing, or is it something too unique to you?
Do you mean the hypnotherapy?
Yeah.
Everyone can learn this. I and I'm saying I was a heavy drinker, and I went from heavy drinking to not drinking when I started the program at my school. And it is very, very possible. Like I said, I like to help teach people coping mechanisms and ways to bring themselves into hypnosis when necessary, so that they don't have to call me or whatever. The whole point of hypnotherapy, in my point of view, is to help someone be who they want to be, being content in life, which is my ultimate goal, is to be content because I've never known that. And I want to help others reach that too. But I don't want to see them forever, is the thing. I would like them to learn breathing techniques and all of these things that maybe have been lost in translation in growing up. As you're growing up, you forget how to calm yourself down, and then stress and trauma and all these things pile up, and then you're left with a mess. You don't know, you're overwhelmed, you don't know how to help yourself. And that's why people go to doctors and then they get on medication, and that might not need to happen, is what I'm saying. I don't prescribe any medication. I don't, all I do is help you breathe and imagine what you want to change in your life and who you want to be. And that's it.
Have you ever doubted hypnotherapy? And if so, what brought you back to believing?
I didn't really know anything about it. I mean, I knew that the mind is powerful. I just didn't realize how much access we can access. I never really had a doubt. I did question um, if it was real or not, because I always, like, in the beginning, I thought of the movie Shallow Hal. They're in the elevator, and Jack Black gets hypnotized to seeing the inner beauty of women instead of what they physically look like. And in the end, all someone had to do was say a word, and then he snaps out of it and he sees, a bunch of overweight women and whatever. And then he's like, oh my God, why did you do this to me? Like, I was fine. And in the end, he learned obviously to love the girl that, was bigger, and he didn't care in the end. But it's not necessarily like that. It's a longer process, and ultimately you will achieve your goal. Um, but also you have to remember too that I may not click with everyone. I may get older lady who, is conservative and in a conservative family and raised that way, and like has grandchildren and great grandchildren, may not like my appearance, may not like how I speak or my ways. So it's not always going to be a good connection with a client. There may not be good vibes there on either end. And then there's also the issue of transference and countertransference. When you're helping someone and they're making changes to the point where they're just in awe, deep, strong feelings can develop there too. Um, in which case, we're trained to worry about that when that happens. But I could develop feelings for a client and they could too. And then there's an issue there. As a hypnotherapist or a therapist in general, but I also can't speak for them either. As a hypnotherapist, we it's unethical to work with friends and family. And I've had multiple people reach out to me like, "Hey, can you do this for me? Can you hypnotize me?" And I'm like, "We used to play beer pong. No, we can't do that." Or "We used to date. No, we can't do that." Because it's going to be less effective. In a sense, I wouldn't look as professional or where I'm at with my career to them because we have a history. Or like my mom. My mom wanted some help, and I was like, "That's not. I don't think that's going to work for you." So, yeah, but also we give referrals to other people too. And that's also what the second year of the program is for, is to learn when someone is out of my scope and I can't really work with them unless it's adjacent to working with their therapist or doctor.
I'm sorry, my
It's
computer my computer unplugged. I was listening though.
I gotcha.
Why continue waitressing while you're building your hypnotherapy practice?
Well, the practice is the ultimate goal. I obviously don't want to be super uh, old when I have a private practice, but the waitressing is to help pay my bills. Building a business is not cheap. And the clients that I do see right now, they're from my internship. So I see them for free. I never put a price on therapy after I graduated just because I'm still learning. But I am qualified to see clients. And with me still being in school, it's hard for me to fully dedicate um, my time to building it. So I do have a website. I do have the professional social medias, and then I have my shit posting social media. So there's conflicting views there. So I had to make another one. and and just because I have this, authority, like this stature, doesn't mean I can't be me as well. So if I want to go on there and be me, then I'm going to. But also, like, I want to have a separate social media specifically for talking about that and getting people interested because it's not known. It's not a known therapy yet. It's very, very closeted at the moment. And there are a lot of people who just don't know what to think about it yet. And that's what I just know that it's going to explode. I'm just taking my time. In the meantime, I'm not trying to stress myself. I'm not trying to um, age quicker than I already am. I'm trying to take my day as it is, enjoy my day, being patient and learning and just taking my time because you can blink and a year be over. And that's not how I want to live my life. So, yeah.
Tell us about your cleaning business and what are your plans for establishing it?
The cleaning business is unestablished. I've been cleaning commercial areas, buildings, businesses, homes since high school. And it's simple. All you do is just advertise that you clean, and somebody's going to want you to clean for them. It's very, very easy to do. And I just knew that because it's always been a side job for me. I just knew that it's there's demand for it, and where I live specifically is when I decided that I wanted to start the business because it's a small town. There's 5,000 people population. I'm from Cleveland, 300,000 people, so there was a big culture shock when I moved down here. But there's a lot of older people that are retired and settled down, and like they just can't do certain things like they used to. And that's when I decided that I wanted to start the cleaning business. But then I kind of got into this. And yes, I still do clean on the side. But I've once I'm not working three jobs and I'm fully dedicated to my hypnotherapy practice, that's when I will open up a location for the cleaning business because I don't want to do the cleaning anymore. I want to send other people to do it. I'm there mentally. That's just who I am as a person. And that's it. I wouldn't have to be at that location. I would hire somebody to be the manager, I just that I already have that figured out. That's going to be later. That's just going to be extra income for me once I establish the practice.
Do these different roles complement each other in unexpected ways?
Um, Give me an example because my mind's going in like four different directions with this question.
Like, in does your cleaning business, your waitressing, and your hypnotherapy, do you use any of what you get from each one? Do you use it all together and it
Like,
helps
like
you?
apply it, like
Yes.
yes. I obviously don't enjoy going to clean toilets first thing in the morning and then coming home and having to do dishes and all that. I don't like doing that. It's not fun. But I mean, it's all connect. I mean, it is all connected. I'm a waitress. I'm personable. I'm friendly. I'm very good at it, and people are just kind of attracted to me and my personality. Doesn't always mean I like it. Does not always mean that I like being a waitress. There are some days where I'm like, I can't wait until I don't have to do this anymore. And then there's other days, that are better and I enjoy it. And I often think about if I still want to waitress when my practice is thriving, because it would be a personal, social thing for me. I see my clients over Zoom. I don't see anybody in person. I don't have a big building office. I'm not there yet. Right now, this is my second bedroom, which is now turned into my office, and I see my clients over Zoom. Then we go into the advertising and the marketing. Yeah, you can get likes and shares and whatever on social media, but are they interested in therapy? Is this going to be a paycheck? To me, it's not just about being financially stable, controlling my own hours, my own pay, my own schedule, being my own boss, which is what I've always wanted. It's not about the money for me. It's about doing something I enjoy doing, helping others, and being able to survive. I'm not a material person. I've had to start over several times with nothing. I've been homeless. I've been in jail. I've lived a lot of different lives. And um, for me, I mean, this is material stuff. If I had to start over, I'd be okay with it because it's a new adventure. I would be a little bummed because I actually earned all of this stuff and I actually have a home that's mine. But I'd get over it. And they are all connected. The waitressing, I go down the street to the gas station, clean that gas station, and then, I come home. It's a very small town. Everybody knows everybody's business. I got people coming to the restaurant asking me, like, what are you in school for? And, like, can you help me? And I'm like, no, nope. I don't want to see anybody in this town personally at all. Like, this out of this area is fine for me. I just know too many people in this town, and it's not gonna. I personally don't want to work with the people. Whether they want to work with me or not, that's not their choice, and that's my prerogative.
You mentioned having a very long life story. What are the key moments that shaped who you are today?
Key moments. Okay. I was bullied in elementary school and middle school. High school, that all changed. I had a tattoo, black hair, a woman's body, and after that, it was just I had met someone. I got into drugs. I am a ex criminal, retired gangster, I guess you could say, turned hypnotherapist. So if you can think where I used to be and where I am now, there's a long journey there. I've lived in Ohio and I've lived in Virginia, and Virginia is not my permanent destination. I wouldn't mind having land and stuff here because I would like to be self-sustainable, but I also want to travel, and my heart is here, because it's the only place that I know other than Ohio, and I don't want to go back there. Um, but who's to say that my heart won't choose somewhere else? And seeing my clients over Zoom, I can travel. I can do that, and that's what I plan to do.
And what are, sorry, what are some challenges or the biggest challenges that you think that you had to overcome to get where you are now?
So many: alcoholism, drug abuse, and being an unmedicated borderline, just uh, it's hard to get into because it's a long story, but um, I could write a book and no one would believe it. We'll just say that.
I say that all the time. I was like, I can make a movie out of my life and it be all factual and nobody would believe it.
Exactly. I've definitely been in some situations where I should not be here. I've definitely done some bad things in my past, but that doesn't define who I am now. Obviously, a lot of things carry on with us, trauma and PTSD and things like that. There's things that stay with us, but Um, I am a firm believer that a sociopath can change their ways in a sense, depending on how severe it is. Not that I'm a sociopath, I'm just saying that with the right mindset, you can. I just remember thinking one time I was in county jail for I don't even know, dozenth time at the time. And I was in jail with the same women over and over again at the time. And most of them were in their 40s and late 30s, 40s, and 50s doing the same shit. And I was like, I just remember thinking to myself, I don't want to live like this forever. Um, and I remember, obviously at that time, I wasn't ready to stop doing the drugs because I was doing a lot. And I just remember waking up half dead in a bando in the dead middle of winter, -degree outside Cleveland, right on the lake. Half dead, sick, um, sleeping in only what I had on: three pairs of jeans, like two hoodies because I didn't have a coat, skinny, just not healthy at all. And I had called my guy, well, two of them, and I got in the car with a weird bunch. There was a black guy who was a booster, and that's someone who steals for his addiction. Someone who had the car, Puerto Rican, who does the drugs and provides the rides, and then the drug dealer. And he's the one that has the drugs, and I'm a white girl in the back seat. I did not know that there were detectives uh, looking for a bigger fish, is what they said in the end. And we ended up pulling off, and we got pulled over at a convenience store. And I remember sitting there thinking, I'm like, because at the time I believe I had 4 warrants in different cities. And I remember sitting there thinking, like, I could run right now and they wouldn't chase me because there was 2 kind of bigger, detectives in a green minivan, and they pulled the visor down, and there were red and blue lights like on the back of the visor. And I just remember that I could have run and continued living that life because they wouldn't have chased me and let the other 3 go. But I didn't. I lit this little like half a cigarette that I had at the time. And I'm like, yep, this is going to happen. I'm just going to go and get it over with. I don't want to do this anymore. And do you want to know at the end of that? Because the drug dealer threw the drugs on the floor. So we all were going to get indicted for it.
Yeah.
Nobody claimed it. But that day specifically, I was the only one that got arrested. They let them go, and then they were going to indict them later. And I was the only one that got arrested. Like, wow, this is okay. This is happening. I was so mad, and ever since it's just been um, me trying to figure myself out and navigate and being someone with mental disorders and not knowing how to live with it, choosing substances instead to cope with life. And I never knew that it was because of a mental disorder. I just thought it was I'm an addict and like that's my comfort. And apparently, substance use is very common for someone to turn to with mental health issues.
What type of issues do your clients typically come to you with?
Typically, it's just a short description of what they want to be seen for: anxiety, relationship issues, confidence, um, just self improvement in general. There's no specific category that I've seen frequently. It's literally just someone says what they want to work on, and it's either a yeah or a no for me. But at the same time, I'm open to helping anyone, and I'm the type of person that will take anything on, no matter if it's a challenge or, if it's easy. That's the only way I'm going to learn is to help people with different things. But ultimately, in the end, I want to help people with self improvement, people who struggle with, not knowing how to function, or, an addict, or just mental health issues or traumas, just people who aren't, that don't feel normal, don't feel like they fit in. Um, this waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning, drinking a coffee, eating an apple, going for a run, taking the kids to school, just the people that struggle with life and just want to be content.
And have you ever encountered a situation that challenged your abilities?
No, not yet. I have not actually. Not in the hypnotherapy. At the gas station, at the restaurant, there's been a couple times where I've been challenged, but not in the hypnotherapy at all. I'm totally confident in my career and the help I can provide someone else, no matter what it is. When my counselor at the school asked me if there was anything that I didn't want to work with, um, and that one thing was smoking cessation. And the only reason that is because I don't fully understand like all the different vape and their like oil contents and the degression of the week. Like, so we're trained there's a certification course where if someone is really ready to quit like quick, then in a week they're or in a week or two or three they're not going to be smoking anymore. But then there's people that are like, well, my wife wants me to. That's not going to work. He's not going to quit. You know what I mean? So like there's a weaning system, and the weaning system with a vape, I want to learn more so that I'm more efficient at helping with people who want to quit with a vape. With the cigarettes, it's easier because if they're at 2 packs a day, then we go down to a pack and a half and then a pack and a fourth, you know. Um, so there's that. Also, the past life regression is something that's a little touchy for me. Even though I look at a lot of my experience as past lives, I'm not fully certified or trained in past life regression, and I don't want to go down that route with someone when I'm not experienced enough and knowing how and what to do in that session. I'm experienced in helping people change things that they're not happy with, not going over past lives and this going into the energy and spiritual of cutting a cord with, previous moms and stuff like that. So that I do want to get into eventually when I have the time for it, because it is tricky. And with hypnosis, you can create false memory, because there's imagery involved. And that's why it is not legal to use a hypnotherapist or a hypnotist in court or in any legal or illegal. Like a cop can't come to me and be like, hey, make this person remember this license plate or whatever. It doesn't work like that. And it can cause false memory. So until I am experienced enough, I don't want to mess around with that.
And where do you see your hypnotherapy practice in the next few years?
So the cool thing about the second part of the first year is the first 6 months are our training for the career. The second 6 months is about building your practice, the marketing and advertising, the social media algorithms. They teach you that. They teach you all of these, how to make a business plan. A business plan, from what I was taught, is basically looking at your business as if it's already been in business for several years. So it's like 1 year, 3 years, and it's basically like a manifest, as if it's already happened. And I'm a firm believer, if you write it down over and over and you repeat, it literally does something to your brain, just like your first car. You get your first car and then you start seeing that same car everywhere. It's this weird mechanism in our brain, and writing something down and saying it, you are, for a lack of a better term, faking it until you make it. That is literally a real thing. If you are portraying the person that you want to be, a business owner, whatever, this or that, it's going to happen, because eventually your brain is going to be trained, and that's how you're going to live your life. And in 3 years, because this is technically my first year of first full calendar year of my business being open. However, I'm not fully putting in all the effort that I need to, because I could get clients, paying clients, but I'm still in school, and I don't have the time for that. Um, 3 years, that would be at the time it would be 2028. I should profit 160 grand out of my mortgage expense, my car insurance, groceries. Like, that would be what I would profit out of 360 grand coming in, seeing 20 clients a week, an hour at a time. That's 20 hours a week, 360 grand. Because at that point too, I also want to be distributing my own essential oils, because those are very powerful and they're helpful too in a lot of ways. And the 60 grand would come from the essential oils alone. So you break it down, your expenses, your profit, your loss, your revenue. Um, And I just guesstimated a lot of the expenses because obviously I don't have a house and I don't have a mortgage. So um, I just kind of guesstimated on that. And that's where I see it. I see me seeing 20 clients a week with whatever it may be. Hopefully, it's more in a specific niche, like confidence, self-image issues, and just better thinking in general. Because manifestation is very real, no matter how you look at it. Praying, manifesting, writing it down, speaking it, thinking it, it's all the same thing. And if you do it enough, it's going to happen. And manifestation, good or bad, is real. You think negatively, negative things are going to happen, and that's going to be your life. You think positively, then positive things are going to happen, and that's going to be your life. It's your decision which way you want to think. And sometimes we get stuck in those, especially the bad times, the negative things.
If you could reach any audience with your message, what would it be?
That we all get a little lost sometimes, and that things can be better.
And if people wanted to follow or see more of you, where could they find you at?
Facebook is Cassandra Davis, CHT. I have X, a Threads, an Instagram, and then I have the Instagram and my personal Facebook are under different names, but I haven't gotten into the social media professionally on all the other platforms yet. But I do have a website, and the website is www.soul-mind.org.
Awesome. And I will have everything linked in the description below. Thank you so much for sharing your incredible story with us today. Your journey from recognizing your divine power to transforming lives through hypnotherapy is truly inspiring. To our listeners, if today's conversation resonated with you, remember that transformation is possible, and sometimes the most powerful changes happen faster than we expect. Until next time on Haunting Travels, stay curious and keep exploring the mysteries that surround us.